Welcome to this week's podcast. I am so happy you've joined me. Now, this week I have been pulling a card and I wanted to share what the meaning of this was. I've just been pulling some cards from the Becoming Unstoppable deck, and this card says, "The only approval I need is my own. I live boldly and unapologetically." Now, this is a card that was so powerful for me, and I had to put it inside this deck because when I'm coaching women, what I often see is they're not fully being themselves. We often put on masks throughout our lives, and we tend to find that these masks become our normal. They become this identity that we create. And especially with women, there's some really powerful masks that we put on. We put on the good girl mask. We put on the people-pleasing mask. We put on the nurturer mask. And we wear it bloody well. But the problem is, when we're wearing all these masks, when we're being all these people that we're told to be and society tells us to be, and it tells us that we're safer to be if we're the good girl and we shut up and we do as we're told. So we've learnt to protect ourselves over the years. And this has come from the witch wound many, many years ago. And if you haven't heard about the witch wound, I would have a look into it. But it's very much around when we were hunted as women, there was a witch hunt happening. And if a woman spoke up, if she was vocal, if she was a leader in any way, if she was seen as a troublemaker, if she was seen as different, there was reasons to believe that she could be a witch. And there was danger with that. There was real danger. It was life and death. And what happened there was an innate belief that if you were silent, if you stayed in the shadows, if you gave up your power, you were actually going to be safe and you were going to be able to live. And worse than that, we actually learned to turn on each other. So to protect ourselves, we would maybe give up others, or to see that we were on the right side, we would maybe give up others. And this has become so prevalent in our society, even today, where women don't speak. We wear these masks. We put the good girl on. We shut up. We do as we're told. We let our husband shine bigger than us because we want to stay safe. And as well, we go against each other as women. We pull each other down. We fight as if there's not enough for us all. Because that was what we were taught. There wasn't enough for us all. There wasn't enough space for all the women. And some were being eradicated. And that has left marks in our subconscious. It has left marks on us. But we're in a space now where none of those fears are real. None of those fears are part of our society anymore. And we are responsible for eradicating them. We are responsible for letting those fears go. And we are responsible for making the future a better place where women do not have to suffer from the witch wound like we are suffering now. So this card really was something I was so passionate about in putting in the deck, because living boldly and unapologetically is what I coach women to do. That's what I coach women to do in their business, in their life, in themselves. Because if you're not being fully you, you are not following your soul path. You're not following the journey you were here to do. And that's sad to me. If you come to this life and waste this lifetime not following the path you were meant to do, it's just sadness that fills me. And I'm sure it does with you. And that's why so many women feel out of alignment and they feel lost and they feel like they don't have that clarity. And it's because they're trying to live this masked life rather than the real life that we're here to live. So how do we break free from that? How do we start to understand who we are underneath all the masks, who we are, who really wants to come and live this life? And firstly, this is where you connect with those desires. Your desires are your soul's roadmap. Your desires are so random that no one else has them. Yes, you might want to be a millionaire and you think that's generic, but actually you want to be a millionaire doing what? How is it you want to have that money? You might want to have it without actually doing anything. You might want to have it with having a really soul aligned business. There is going to be lots of different variations of how you want that money to show up. And then there's going to be part of you that's telling you, well, why would you deserve that money? Why should you have that money while so many are suffering? And this is where you can start to see the masks that you are wearing, because your ego will tell you them. Your ego will show up and tell you, who are you to have those desires? But the more you deny them, the more you push them down, the more you are shifting your path from your soul path. So what is it you truly desire at the moment? Take any shame, guilt, anything away from it and ask yourself, what is it you truly desire? What is that vision that you see yourself if you could have anything? If you could live in any way, shape, or form, what would that look like? What would you be doing? What would you be feeling? Who would you be being? That is the part of you that is calling to get out. That part of you might be a bit of a badass. And this is what shocks people. When you step into that world of your desires, when you step into that place, you imagine yourself to be all nice and calm and love and light. And this is what scares people a little bit. Because when you are at that point, you're not actually all nice and calm and love and life. You're a badass woman who knows what she wants, knows her mind, and will call out others' bullshit. And does that scare you a little bit? Once you are fully going after yourself, what you are doing is piecing those parts of you back together. Those women of the past, the ones that were burnt at the stake for being witches, they were the vocal ones. They were the ones who couldn't shut up. They were the ones who would speak their mind. They were the ones who would tell the patriarchy to F off. These were the powerful women. These were the women that we need to piece back together. And when you have that life that you desire, when you let those desires come through, you start to piece that version of you back. Now, she might be edgy, she might be cool, she might be brash, she might have a really vocal voice, and that might scare the shit out of you. It might make you think, who is this person? But believe me, that is who you've been all along. When I started going down the spiritual path and really finding out more about who I was at my core, I was really shocked. I had this vision of spiritual people being all love and light and spreading all this joy. And I turned into an absolute badass. My boundaries got super clear. I do not let people overstep the mark. I do not let people talk down to me. I own who I am. I have a straight talking attitude and I allow myself to speak my truth. I allow myself to call out others' bullshit. And I am not scared about what they think of me because of it. And me to who I was back then, I used to think I was quite badass, but I wasn't. I would bite my tongue. I would hold myself back. I would people please. I would be the one that everybody would go to and my energy would be drained. Not anymore. My energy is my priority. My boundaries are my priority. My soul path is my priority. I go after what I want. I say what I desire. I know what I desire and I speak it into being. And I am welcome to anyone who wants to join me on my path. But if they are not part of my path, then they don't need to join me. And I don't need to people please them on that. And it has been the most invigorating thing I have ever done in my life, to actually allow myself to be who I was meant to be the vocal, outspoken, straight talking redhead that is inside. I've let her unleash. And that is fully how I stepped into my power and how I stepped into my success. By being fully me in my business, I can show my clients what they get. I can show my clients, I'm going to be here for you, but I am going to call you out when you are holding yourself back. And they all know that and they all love that because I'm probably the only person that's maybe ever called them out on the bullshit that's been keeping them stuck. You are probably in the same space. You're probably wearing these masks. I know so many of us hold on to this good girl mask, like you can't let it slip. But who are you being good for? If you are in your 50s now, what the hell are you being good for and why the hell do you care? And if you're in your 30s and your 40s, we've got to ask ourselves, why are we wearing these masks that protected us as children but don't protect us now as adults? They are not safe for us to keep wearing. They keep us small, they keep us being treated like shit, and they keep us being held down and away from our purpose. So start to allow yourself to say, what is it I desire? What is it I really want in life? Now, if you want to be a 7-figure CEO, if you want to have an empire, you need to become a bit of a badass. And I'm not saying like the bro club, I'm not saying all that hard stuff, but I'm saying you need to honor your boundaries. You need to step into your power. You need to step into your confidence. You need to own who you are and what you are offering to the world and why your empire is amazing. So you need to be able to sell your success. You need to be able to say what it is you are good at, because if you are not owning yourself as the expert, who else will? So please start to step into your power. Start to shed these masks of good girl, nurturer, people pleaser. Let them all go. They're not who you came to be. So who did you come to be? What fire is inside of you? What edginess is inside of you? What is calling out inside of you that wants to come out? Let it shine. It's time to be unapologetically you. Start to contemplate this idea. If you weren't worried about people pleasing, if you weren't worried about being liked, what would you be saying? How would you be saying it? Let yourself say what you need to say. Let yourself own exactly what you desire, because your desires are justified. Your desires are worthy, and your desires are what you came here to have. So stop denying them. Stop telling yourself you're not meant for them. It's time to go big. And this is the year to become unstoppable. Do not sit in these people-pleasing tendencies and waste your time. It's only your time you're wasting, and it's really something that you don't need to be doing anymore. So make sure you're shaking it off and stepping in as the badass that you came here to be. Have the best day. Bye.